Good morning. You all made it. Thank you so much for coming. And thank you for having me. This beautiful country. It's my first time here. So I'm Steve Blum. That's what I do. For those of you who are uninitiated. And I thought I'd just open this up to you guys and see what's on your minds and see if you have some burning questions. I know it's early, but you can do it. If I can get up here, you can ask questions. So, do we have a microphone out there? Okay, so we have a microphone in the back, so if you have a question, please just raise your hand and come running, we hope. Okay, here we go. Here go the questions. There's one right there. Hi.
Hey there.
Hi.
Hi. I was looking over your IMDb the other day just to kind of get a look at your track record, as it were. And I noticed that over the past couple of years there was a bit of a shift from your work in anime, from the classic ones you're kind of known for, to more video game based stuff, with the occasional stuff like the regular show and stuff like that. Was that a conscious decision on your part, or was that just kind of how the cookie crumbled?
It's kind of how the industry went. Unfortunately, anime, as we all know, has been much more difficult to come by. The industry was kind of dying. It seems to have a little bit of a resurgence happening now. But for the anime that I'm allowed to do, because I'm a union member, there isn't very much happening in Los Angeles. So most of it's happening in Texas or Canada or places where I'm just not. So I'm not able to work on it physically. And then also, the other stuff, frankly, pays a lot better. You can't really make a living working in only anime as a voice actor. It doesn't pay very much, but I still love it, and I still do it as much as I possibly can. I have a couple shows I'm still working on now. Is Tenkai Nights playing here? Anybody know?
I don't think so.
It's a kid show. It's actually pretty cool. It's a really cool show. I'm still doing a little bit of Naruto once in a while and things like that. So I do as much anime as I can, but it's just not available.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, my question is, what does it feel like to be the most prolific voice actor in anime? You have the Guinness World Record. How did you do that?
Oh, the Guinness record thing?
Yeah, the Guinness record.
Yeah, that was really strange the way that happened. I got a call from Guinness last year, and they said that they thought that I had enough records in video games to actually merit a world record. And I thought they were kidding at first, and I thought many of my friends had done more games than I had, and we actually had to confirm it. It took about 2 months working with my agent to look through my IMDb and figure out which ones were real, which ones weren't. So I don't keep track of any of that. I'm not a gamer, so half the time when I'm working on the games, I don't even know the title of the game, or my character's name. So I rely on you guys for all that. And so it was actually kind of an arduous process to go through that and figure out what I had actually done, what was correct. And then the funny thing was that they were going to be doing this awards ceremony at a convention in LA called E3. It's a gaming convention.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't get a ticket. They just assumed that I was going to be there. They were coming into LA specifically to do that convention. They were having some contests at the convention for possible other records. And I couldn't get a ticket into the convention, so we had to come up with an alternate plan. So I was working on Legend of Korra, the Avatar show, at Nickelodeon. And Nickelodeon was kind enough to let us use the booth there for them to come in and shoot some photos and some video and do the full presentation. Except that day we were running about an hour and a half late. So we sat in the lobby, they sat in the lobby with me. And Nickelodeon was so nice, they put up this big poster of my character in the lobby on this digital floor-to-ceiling screen that they had. And I thought, oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be, a memorable moment. And we're just sitting in the lobby, kind of waiting and waiting and waiting. And then finally, the guy just stands up and he goes, "You know what? I got to go. On behalf of Guinness Book of World Records." That was it. And it was so anticlimactic. But it was still a tremendous honor. And it wasn't something that I expected to do. It wasn't something I tried to do. I'm now up to over 300 games, which is really crazy to me. As a little kid, I tried to get the longest spit or something, pogo stick, to get a record, and then I just sort of forgot about that, and it just sort of happened. So, yeah, that was a funny thing. I was hoping I could get some free Guinness here because of that. I don't think it translates.
Sorry, just one more short question. Do you prefer doing villains or heroes?
I love them both for different reasons. The heroes are great just because I think every little kid wants to be a superhero. Everybody wants to put on that cape and feel what it's like to be a superhero. And I like being the heroes, but I also like being sort of the anti-heroes. Like Wolverine, for me, I consider him to be an anti-hero. He's a very reluctant hero. And I like that dichotomy within the character. And the villains are really fun just because there's a lot of stress in living in Los Angeles and particularly driving, so I have a lot of road rage. And so when I get to go in the studio and I get to just tear it up, it feels good. I feel like I've been through a psychotherapy session. So I love them for different reasons. Great questions. Thank you.
When you make a game, are you obliged to kind of put yourself down for sequels?
Do I put myself down for sequels?
Yeah.
I will work on whatever they'll hire me for. I'm a voiceover, I'll do it. It's not up to me, unfortunately. You know, I always hope that it's going to continue on and do something else, but one never knows. So.
Saints Row the Third, you did the voice of the zombie voice of the boss that you play as. How wrecked was your trip from that?
Oh, it was very wrecked. Yeah, I mean, anytime you're doing that kind of thing, it hurts. And no matter how much training you've had, there's no way to leave.
Did you have any other like zombie voice roles before?
I've had lots of zombie voice roles. Yeah, I've been hired for creatures for most of my career. Actually, my very first voice was a creature. I was in a show called The Guyver. I don't know if you guys know that. Yeah, that was my very first anime, and I was playing all the zoonoids at first. And so the very first thing I did, I think, was to just come on screen, go rip the arm off another zoonoid and beat him with it or something. So I've been doing that forever, and there's, I know how to do it properly, so I don't permanently damage myself, I hope. But there's no way to really get away from that pain. If you do it right, it's going to hurt. So, thank you. Good question.
I heard the story of your tattoo before, and I was wondering if you could share it again for people who haven't heard it.
Yes. Okay. Well, this is my tattoo. And it's actually a sound file of the word bang from the last episode, Cowboy Bebop.
Oh my God.
So I took that directly from YouTube with the full mix and everything and put it into my Pro Tools, took a snapshot of it and brought it to my tattoo guy. And so if there were a way to play it, it's actually very accurate. And I wanted him to get it exactly right. We were looking at the original drawing. Yeah, and he was...
I'll get a picture.
He was... Oh, thank you. Okay.
I'm an IT man. I know what I'm doing here.
Okay, good. Yeah, he's gonna develop a chip here and insert it in my arm.
I'm a scientist. I'd love some part anyway.
The tattoo guy, to make sure that this was accurate, that it wouldn't fade too much, he dug in for each one of those lines about 5 or 6 times. So I was really bloody at the end of it. And it was also done at a tattoo parlor where the guys were drummers. And so they thought it would be really fun right after I got my tattoo to do some hand drumming, some tribal hand drumming. And so it was already a little bit bloody, and after doing that, it was really bloody. So I earned this. It's like a scar and a badge of honor for me.
I have to bring back the lab.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah, please.
We have to cut off your arm.
Yeah.
It's fine. It'll grow back. It's a tender
Healing factor.
for you hentai fans.
What are you talking about?
Everybody shrinks in their seat. Who else got a question here?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey Steve, it's great to have someone as well known as you come here to Ireland. Just out of curiosity, since like you said it's your first time here, how do you find the country and what have you been doing since you got here?
so far I've had a lot of Guinness. Went to the factory yesterday, and I really haven't seen much yet. We flew in a couple days ago, and between jet lag and the necessary sleep and the Guinness, I really haven't seen much more than just a few streets in Dublin. But after the convention, we're going to hire a car and we're going to drive around. So we're going to see a lot of the South, and we're going to go up to Giant's Causeway, and I can't wait to see all of that. And all my friends who've been here before are giving me all sorts of advice, so most of it conflicting. So I'm just going to drink and drive. No.
Hi, I'm a massive Transformers fanboy, as any of these lads would tell you, and your Starscream is my favourite of any from any of the cartoons.